And welcome to Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty of basketball action to get to. We also have a little bit of baseball and football as well. Let's begin with the Georgia Southern Eagles. The men back home this past week as they were taking on the teams from Alabama. They knocked off South Alabama Wednesday night and then proceeded to knock off Troy on Friday evening, a game that was delayed a bit. It was on ESPN2. They had some problems in warm-ups with a bent rim after a dunk, and they had to get the game started a little bit late, but it was well worth the wait for those fans who made the trip to Hanner as the Eagles pulled out the victory, improved to 8-5 on the season. Up next for Georgia Southern, they will be at Coastal Carolina and then at Appalachian State this Thursday and Saturday. As for the women, they lost on the road to South Alabama and Troy. Now they still only have 2 wins on the season, and they will be hosting Coastal Carolina on Thursday and hosting Appalachian State on Saturday. As for the area high school basketball, state playoffs getting underway this past week. Congratulations to the Bulloch Academy boys who won their opening round game and moved on to the second round where they won on the road at Stratford Academy. Advancing to the Final Four, they'll be taking on Holy Spirits coming up this Friday night at 6:30 in Americus, Georgia, at Georgia Southwestern University. As for the girls, they lost in the opening round of the state, ending their season. For the Statesboro Blue Devils, the boys lost a heartbreaking buzzer beater to Stars Mills. They are now finished. As for the girls, they won their game with McIntosh and advanced to the second round. They will be playing host on Wednesday night. That game against Veterans getting underway at 6 o'clock. And as for the Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets, the boys failed to make the state. The girls did. They lost in the first round on the road at Tattnall County. As for the baseball diamond, Georgia Southern going up against the top 20 ranked Auburn team. They were able to win 1 of 3. They'll open up their home schedule against Georgia Tech Tuesday night at J.I. Clement Stadium. And as for the Statesboro Blue Devils and Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets, they played themselves. This week we'll have some highlights of the first game. Statesboro and Southeast playing Monday evening at Mill Creek Regional Park. Then they turned around. Statesboro won that one 10-3. Southeast won at their home field by a score of 5-3. Statesboro also knocked off Bacon County. Played that game on Friday night, and so they were able to pull off that victory at home. They'll be back in action this week, but all their games this week will be on the road. All right, so plenty of highlights to get to. We'll also head out to the first day of spring practice at Georgia Southern. All that and more coming up in just a moment. And a reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888, or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy.
Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, the Georgia Southern men getting back to action this week. A couple of big victories at Hanner. They knocked off South Alabama on Wednesday and then beat Troy on Friday. Let's get out and take a look at some of the highlights. Georgia Southern hosting South Alabama. The visiting Jaguars with an early lead. The ball kicked out to Herb McGee, who drains the three. Georgia Southern doesn't stay down long. Eagles soaring from behind the arc. Calvin Wishart dialed in. He finds three here. Seconds later, Wishart at it again. Another three. He drained 4 threes in the game. South Alabama answers with McGee, who proceeds to connect on another three-pointer on the other end. Then an alley-oop here. Simeon Carter, the Eagles take the lead. Then Tukey Brown left alone, and he drains the three. Long balls continuing to find the twine here. Quan Jackson gets three. Monte Glenn then going in for a couple of baskets. And Georgia Southern goes on to win by a final of 75-65. Georgia Southern hosting Troy Friday night. The ESPN2 telecast unfortunately delayed after a dunk bent the rim in practice and it had to be replaced. When things finally got going, the Eagles with some rim protection of their own. Monte Glenn the block. Next on offense, Isaiah Crowley the hoop and the foul. More from Crowley. This time the backdoor cut and the slam. He'd have 16 points. The Eagles continue to attack the goal as Quan Jackson drives for 2. Next, a nice play inside by Simeon Carter. He lays it in. On the other end, Glenn the block, but Troy able to convert. Back on offense off the steal, David Lee Jones to Jackson for the two-handed flush. Tukey Brown getting in on the fun as he drives in for 2 of his 16 points in the game. Jones later penetrating and getting the hoop and the foul. The Eagles up by 6. Monte Glenn next for the layup. Troy hanging around as KJ Simon finishes on the break. But the Eagles pull away in the second half. Tukey Brown 4-3. And Georgia Southern wins 76-51. As we mentioned, up next for the guys, they will be on the road at Coastal on Thursday and at App on Saturday. The women will be hosting Coastal on Thursday and hosting App on Saturday. Well, Georgia Southern spring football getting underway this week as well. We had a chance to talk with head coach Chad Lunsford about getting things underway.
Obviously, it's different because now we've got a year with the same coordinators under our belts. So obviously it's being able to continue to expand on our schemes and getting better at that. But I think spring ball always comes down to fundamentals, technique, and just trying to get better at your position and making sure you've got competition at each position. Having guys have that opportunity to try to, if they are starters, make sure they're improving. If they're not a starter, go out and try to win that job. So I think competition and I think the ability to grow on both sides of the football. This is the first time in really a long time with Georgia Southern that we've actually had some continuity with our coaching staff. And so having our staff in place, having a lot of guys returning, it allowed us to go ahead and get started. There's several different positives to doing it. One, we were able to sign most of our guys in December, so January was more about getting started with the 2020 class, and it also allowed us to be around here a little bit more, which I love. I think that's an awesome thing for our football team, but it allowed us to be ready for spring ball to start early. It allows us, knock on wood, if somebody were to get injured in spring ball, it gives us a little bit more time to get them back for the fall. It also allows our strength coach to have more time with them after spring ball going into fall so that we can be as fast, strong, and quick as we've ever been going into a season. Our guys, you can see it. I guarantee you when they go out there today, you're going to see confidence instead of, just well, let me see what's going to go on. They're going to go out there and they're going to take the field just like it was a bowl practice. They're going to be ready to go. I think the biggest thing on defense, we really got to get safety figured out. We got to figure out who our guys are there. Linebacker with Tamarcio leaving, we got to see who's going to step up. We feel really good about Chris Harris. We feel good about Rashad Byrd. We really want to see more Jontavius Ferguson. But we got guys right there that, in Raynard Ellis. He's a guy we really want to see. He did a tremendous job on the scout team last year, so we want to see how he'll do with our scheme. And then when you move to offense, we got to fill a couple spots on the offensive line, so we need some guys to step up there. And then at running back, losing Wesley Fields, losing a Monteo Garrett, this is opportunity for some of those young guys to really step up. So I would say those are the positions that we're really looking hard at.
And a reminder that the spring game will take place on March 9th. All right, stay with us for the high school hardwood coming up next.
What does it mean to have financial freedom?
At Queensboro Wealth Management, we're helping people figure that out.
And giving them a plan to get there.
If you have a desire to take control of your finances and live with financial purpose,
we
will use every bit of our knowledge to help you.
And there's no cost to get started.
Download a free kit from our website, then give any of us a call. QWM is Queensboro Wealth Management. Let's begin today.
Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, providing primary care for Statesboro area patients since 1998, providing complete physicals, complete sports physicals, Medicare wellness exams, full diabetes treatment, and education from lifestyle changes to oral medications to insulin pump therapy. In-house dermatology, in-house circulation tests and ultrasounds, in-house lab. And introducing our new nurse practitioner, Melissa Beasley, as we now accommodate same-day or next-day appointments to serve your needs. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, where we care. Well, the Statesboro boys and girls both earned number 1 and number 2 seeds respectively, so they were both able to host the first round of the state. Girls able to win on Friday. Unfortunately, the boys lost at the buzzer. Let's get out and take a look at some of the highlights. Statesboro girls opening up the state playoffs, hosting McIntosh, and this one all Statesboro. Jemiah Jones to Bailey Roberts for 2. Next, it's Alexis Ward to Roberts for 2 more. Lacey Robbins then heating up. First, she knocks down the 3-pointer. Next, Robbins driving in for one of her 7 assists, this one to Madison Lee. Then one of her 6 block shots on the other end. Next, another nice dish inside to Roberts, who had 11 points in the game. Jones then knifing her way in. She knocks the runner down. Back to Robbins we go, as she drives in for 2 more of her 21 points in the game. Robbins next to a wide open Ward for the 3-pointer. And then Jones lays in 2 more. Statesboro out to a 9-point halftime lead. In the second half, the lead expanding. Robbins a steal and 2 more. Next, Robbins, the great look, fires a bullet to Roberts for 2. Robbins with 7 steals. Here she cruises in after another one. Statesboro up 33-16, and then it's Jones driving once again and getting it to fall. The Chiefs get within 6, but Robbins, the nice long 2. And then another look here to Roberts, who makes a tough shot. And finally, it's Robbins showing the post moves as well, as Statesboro advances, winning 51-39. Statesboro High opening up the state playoffs, hosting Stars Mills Saturday night. The visitors out to a 10-5 lead as Jermaine Mann hits the 3. Statesboro makes a run. Zarion Griffin the layup. Next, it's Devin Michael getting this one to fall. And then just before the end of the first quarter, Michael beats the clock for 3. And we're tied at 10 all after 1. In the second, O.J. Reese for 2. But then the Panthers start to pull away. Luke Presley, the pull-up jumper. Next, it's Mann, the steal, and he goes ahead for the slam. Stars Mill opens a 10-point halftime lead. The Panthers continue in the second half. Off the steal, Darrell Rice for the layup. Statesboro starts to come back. Griffin inside for two. Later, Griffin driving for two more of his 22 points in the game. Again, back come the Panthers as Nate Allison goes in for the dunk. Griffin later getting Statesboro within three with another three-pointer. Mann answers with the hoop and the foul for the Panthers. With less than 45 seconds left in the game, Statesboro with their first lead of the game. 45-44 on the Joe Burns three. The Panthers retake the lead 46-45, but two free throws by Griffin, and Statesboro up 47-46 with less than 10 seconds remaining in the game. The Panthers able to advance the ball into the front court and call a timeout with 2.8 seconds left. And here's how the final play turned out. The buzzer beater, the Blue Devils lose another heartbreaker, 48-47. Again, the guys' season comes to a close, 20-8 on the season. As for the ladies, they will be hosting Veterans Wednesday at 6 in the Sweet 16 of the State 5A playoffs. Stay with us. Up next, we'll head out to Bulloch Academy. Come visit us locally here in Statesboro at Piedmont Loop beside Walmart.
Friday night lights to early morning deer stands, Anderson's General Store in Statesboro is your tailgating and hunting headquarters. Boots from Ariat, Georgia Boot, Irish Setter, Wolverine, and more, we have a pair for you. Check out our Costa and Ray-Ban sunglasses. And apparel from Columbia, Carhartt, and Drake. Dove, ducks, deer, we have all your hunting needs. And tailgate with a Big Green Egg or Traeger grill. Pack in the flavor with delicious sauces and rubs. Haul it all home with a utility trailer. Anderson's General Store, a general store, and so much more.
Well, unfortunately, the Bulloch Academy girls lost in the first round of the state. They were on the road at Westminster. The guys at home against Westminster were able to pick up the victory. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. The Bulloch Academy Gators opening the state playoffs, hosting Westminster. The visitors pulling away early on as they'd take a 16-6 lead, but the Gators making a run. Don Aaron in for the layup. Peerless Brown later with the pull-up three-pointer. Brown then off the mark, but Aaron was there for the putback. He'd finished with 15 points. The lead cut to 6 at the half. We move ahead to the second half, and the visitors are able to maintain that lead, but the Gators comeback begins late in the third. Aaron in for the layup. Brown later off the steal. He'll go in for two more of his 21 points in the game. Aaron later in for two more himself. B.A. pulls within one. Then Ty Mingle coming up with the loose ball, and the Gators would take the lead. Brown then helping to seal the deal as he hits the corner three. And then another three-pointer, and the Gators would go on to take this one 58-48.
No credit refused isn't just an offer, it's a way of business and has been for over 100 years. No banks, no ridiculous credit requirements, just local Badcock store owners who treat you right and give you credit when others won't. It's never been easier to express your style and love your home.
A sports injury can stop you in your tracks. At Optum Orthopedics, our specialized physicians and staff use advanced orthopedic procedures with one specific goal in mind: to get you back to you. If you have a sports injury, request an evaluation. Experience the Optum difference.
And as for the Statesboro Blue Devils and Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets, they played themselves. This week we'll have some highlights of the first game, Statesboro and Southeast playing Monday evening at Mill Creek Regional Park. A good crowd on hand at Mill Creek Park for the Battle of Bulloch County. Statesboro hosting Southeast Bulloch. Eddie Mitchell on the mound for the Blue Devils, coming up with the inning-ending strikeout. The Blue Devils able to start the scoring. Jackson Proctor, the single into left. Then with 2 on, Austin Arendez comes through with the double into left. Both runners will score. And it's 2-0 Statesboro. Arendez later comes in to score on the wild pitch. And it's 3-0 Blue Devils. The Yellow Jackets respond. Will Hitchens comes through with the single into left. And then Michael Rigdon bringing in the first SEB run. Colby Marsh scores, and it's 3-1. Dylan Rooks adding to the total as he singles into left. Another run scores, and the lead is cut to 3-2. Bryce Westerfield in relief, getting some help at short by Drake Horton, who makes a nice diving grab and throw for the final out of the inning. Peyton Carr in relief for the Jackets gets the inning-ending strikeout. The Jackets would go on to tie things up in the fourth, 1 on, and Colby Marsh with the 2-out single into right. And it's 3-all. The Blue Devils quickly respond in the bottom of the fourth. J.D. Kaiser drives the double to the gap in left center. Bradley Gronfeld scores, and it's 4-3. Michael Mascarello adding to it. He comes through with the deep sacrifice fly into left field. This would plate Will Yawn to make it 5-3. The Blue Devils put things away later as Drake Horton comes through with the 2-run single into right. The Blue Devils take a 7-3 lead. Hunter Saucy helping to close the door, the inning-ending strikeout, and Statesboro wins 10-3. All right, well, that'll wrap things up for now. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.